The conception of Pennsylvania Railroad President and Chief Engineer John Edgar Thompson, the construction of the Pittsburgh line between Harrisburg and Johnstown commenced under his order in 1847. The plan was to follow the Juniata River to the east of Altoona and then slowly wind up the Allegheny Mountains once to the west. On the Pittsburgh line, NS25P brings priority intermodal west from Mooresville, Pennsylvania, just outside of Philadelphia. Beginning in 1851, Irish immigrants were employed to carve the tracks through the mountains. No heavy machinery was used on this section of track, so all work had to be done with pickaxes and shovels. Working its way down the grade forged by hand 175 years ago, NS6K4 brings loaded ethanol eastbound from the Union Pacific, handed off to Norfolk Southern in Chicago. At 1513, two General Electric locomotives make light work ascending the grade. This is Norfolk Southern 257 bound for Chicago.
This is like the best day.
Only a few minutes had passed, but another westbound was already on the way, this time 11V. earlier in the day, 11V stalled out a few miles to the east of Horseshoe Curve. The train only has one operating locomotive on the head end and one operating as a distributed power locomotive in the middle, but is well over 10,000 feet. This train originally had two helper locomotives on the rear end, but one of them became inoperable, causing the train to stall. As a result, another pair of helper locomotives were swapped in. This overhead view of the Horseshoe Curve shows just how much of an engineering marvel it is. Workers spent countless days, weeks, and maybe even years ensuring trains will have a smooth, gradual grade to ascend and descend. This is mixed freight train 38G, bringing its train down track 1. The track numbers here on the Pittsburgh line are different from most on the East Coast. Normally, track 2 is the rightmost track, while track 1 is on the left. Here, from left to right, track numbers are 3 to 2 and 1, the reverse order of what is the norm. Bringing 200 coal empties westbound is 595, heading west on track number 2. With the park closing at 5, we headed down the stairs to the parking lot. Of course, 63V had to make an appearance just then.
Milepost 24 on point 0. Track 2, no defects.
While we had missed 63V at Horseshoe Curve, we had just barely beat it to Gallitzin and the Tunnel Inn, where we would be staying for the remainder of our trip. Today's 63V is heavy enough to warrant the use of 2 SD70 ACU helper locomotives. Since we are situated at the top of the Alleghenies, this is where 63V will disconnect from the N54 helper. With 100 coal loads in tow, 592 crests the Alleghenies at around 8 miles an hour. Since the grades to the east of here are so steep, there are specific operating instructions for loaded unit trains and any trains over a certain tonnage. This limits their speed until they have finished cresting the grade, or in the case of unit trains, limits them to 15 miles an hour all the way to Altoona.
Engine is a 7249. I think I just got a force coming through an interlocking here. We had a signal. I think the PTC got confused. We were on the loop track where you changed direction, and I don't really think it knew where we were going. So it put us into PTC suppression. So I'm just giving you guys a call and let you know.
The Norfolk Southern Pittsburgh line is equipped with cab signal operations, which means helper sets like N54 can follow close behind 592, as long as they follow restricted speed. Following behind N54 is yet another helper set. It is practice for all trains to blow their horn before entering the tunnel. This gives anyone in the tunnel one last warning that a train is on the way. On the other side of Gallitzin is Track 1, which passes through an entirely separate tunnel. Here's 29G working hard to press the grade. One week after the 4th of July, flags are still present along the town park fence, creating a great backdrop for 261 to pass by. With the sun setting, another helper set returns to Altoona. For the remainder of our trip, we will be staying at the Tunnel Inn located in Gallitzin, Pennsylvania. The Tunnel Inn is located next to tracks 2 and 3 on the Norfolk Southern Pittsburgh line and sees most of the trains that pass through daily. The Tunnel Inn has 4 rooms for rail fans to stay in, so if you are ever planning a trip here, this is a good place to check out. Now at twilight, a helper set emerges from the tunnel heading westbound with its headlights shining bright. Gallitzin is situated at the summit of the Alleghenies on the Norfolk Southern Pittsburgh line. The new portage tunnel, located to the south of the Tunnel Inn, was the first tunnel constructed and was completed in 1854. The new portage tunnel, which houses Track 1, is primarily used for light eastbound traffic as the grade on this section of track is much steeper than that of Tracks 2 and 3. Completed in the same year as the new portage tunnel, the Allegheny Tunnel stretches 3,605 feet under the town of Gallitzin, as it was bored straight through the mountain. Just to the north of the Allegheny Tunnel is the Gallitzin Tunnel, which was completed in 1904. During modernization of the line in the late 1990s in order for double-stack container capacity, the new portage tunnel and Allegheny tunnels were upgraded. The Gallitzin Tunnel did not receive this upgrade, and after the double tracking of the Allegheny Tunnel in 1995, was boarded up and placed out of service. One of the coolest features of the Tunnel Inn is LED lights which illuminate Tracks 2 and 3. At 2200, 22X brings its train past the Tunnel Inn. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, this is Commonwealth Rail, out.